I'm very happy you're joining me today. My name is Ash, and I've been LARPing since 2009 in different communities. I've had breaks where I couldn't play for some reason or another, but I've been doing this in some fashion for about 10 years. I am a polyamorous pansexual with a hard lean towards being lesbian, but to make that really simple, I just go with queer. I am queer. I have a dog, cats, fish that you can see in the background, and amazing partners. Most of us in my household LARP in some fashion, and that makes this video series really important to me. And brings me to my next part, the topics I'm intending to cover in this series. To start in this video, I'm going to cover the basics of intersectionality and how it pertains to healthy gaming communities. I did the research on my own and will attach my sources in the description below. I highly recommend looking into some of these on your own and drawing your own conclusions. In further videos, I intend to reach out to members of different communities to share their experiences with LARP, as well as cover problems we face within the community with racism, sexism, ableism, politics, and mental health. If there are other topics in this vein that you feel I'm missing, please let me know in the comments below. Intersectionality is the complex, cumulative way in which the effects of multiple forms of discrimination, such as racism, sexism, and classism, combine and overlap or intersect, especially in the experiences of marginalized individuals or groups. The first known use was in 1989 and was coined by the Black feminist scholar Kimberly Williams Crenshaw. I'll cover her later on my channel because she is absolutely amazing, and she's actually gone to the school I'm intending to go to. In simple terms, intersectionality is how differing forms of discrimination come together to create different experiences in different groups. I can only comfortably speak on my own experience, so that's how I'll cover this from here on out. My lived experience is that I'm white. There's no real discrimination in being white. I know there's conservative discourse that says otherwise, but frankly, it's made up. Being white in our society gives us massive privilege. I have not been passed over for a job, for a date, for any number of things in my daily life because I am white. Moving on from that, I also identify as primarily a cisgendered woman. I feel comfortable being female, obviously. I tend to go with a more masculine presentation in my day-to-day life, but I tend to identify along a female line. This is where I feel is my first instance of discrimination. While my skin color is a protection, being female doesn't help me at all. Being female puts me at a higher risk of sexual assault, harassment, and means that I will generally be paid less than my male counterparts at the exact same job. I can do everything exactly the same, and I will still be paid less. Hope in the last few years that's been getting a little better, and I'm hoping that trend continues. Beyond that, as I already stated earlier, I identify as queer. Being a part of the LGBTQ community others you in ways that you don't really see in other ways. I have a higher risk of being attacked or being in poverty than peers that are straight. Much of this is due to social strains of not having a support network. Thankfully, I am lucky. I do have a support network. My dad is incredibly supportive. My aunt and uncle are supportive. My grandparents are supportive. I'm lucky. That is not the case for many others. However, with that being established, my particular combination of discrimination isn't that bad. I didn't include education level or class, as that would make this video a little longer than I intended, but those do make your life a little harder. My experience is, however, a lot better than others who have similar guidelines but are also transgender or a person of color or indigenous. So, how does all of that tie into LARP. Intersectionality can be seen throughout our daily lives. You see it in our politics, it's in our workplaces, it's in our entertainment. LARP primarily is a form of entertainment. And in the United States, where I'm from, it's primarily a white hobby. In my 10 years of playing, I can count on one hand the number of non-white players I've met. It's not a good thing. Much of the demographic that I have seen and interacted with are white men or male-identifying individuals. Storylines tend to cater to that ideal, that fantasy life that they tend to really want. So they tend to be savior complexes where they save the world, or they are colonizing a new area. And that's great. It's not necessarily the stories we want to see, but that's okay. They're stories. However, in my experience, when you start pushing for change, that's met with derision. Nothing's wrong. You're tilting at windmills. Just go along to get along. And to be honest, for many of my years of LARPing, I did just that. I tried to get around my need to make things better for everyone who wanted to LARP out in my characters. And it's not as fulfilling as I wanted it to be. I wish it were. Thankfully, in the last couple of years, there's been a larger following for change. What's been good enough isn't good enough anymore. And in that vein, I'm deciding to start this series. I'm hopeful that it'll help other LARP organizers and other gamers to understand that how other groups are discriminated against by society and generational traumas can help us be a healthier community overall. It helps inform us of what stories we should try to tell and which to avoid. It helps us to understand what voices we're missing in our communities and puts us in a position to actively change toxic cultures. So, if I'm missing something, please tell me below. I would love to cover those in future videos. Thank you. In my next video, I hope you'll stay with me as we explore this together and break down the different things that can affect players and therefore their level of entertainment at a game. While it's not possible to hit everything as a game owner, making an active effort that is continuously improving, especially one that your players can see, can go a long way to fostering a healthy and safe game. In 2 weeks, I'm planning to cover queer experiences in the LARP community and how things can be improved to create a safe place for all players, regardless of gender identity or expression. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, hit that like button, subscribe so you'll be notified when part 2 comes out, and let me know what you thought in the comments below. Or, if you'd like to see me cover something specific. Have a lovely weekend and stay safe. Bye!